Crazy week, drafters. It's
Dude,
Dan,
seriously.
It's JP, and it's so much fun when the new, I don't want to say new league year because that starts back, in March or whatever. But this is the next checkpoint in the league year in the NFL because teams can shift cap hits across the seasons. So all of a sudden, a $40 million cap hit for this year becomes a $15 million this year and $25 million next year. And that's the kind of funny money that NFL teams like to throw around, which is exactly why A.J. Brown is finally a Patriot. And much more surprising for a lot of people out there, Myles Garrett is a Ram. And you, sir, look like you spilled beer on yourself.
Only if I had opened my beer. So I just realized that all that blowing just went into 100%. The show, too.
Yep.
The top of my beer can was completely covered in, like, dirt or so. I had to go get a towel.
Well, that one might have been on the shelf for a bit then, sir. It's a good thing it's a stout. I'm not giving away, what it is, because we'll talk about that later on, but it's a good thing it's a stout.
Yeah, I didn't really want to drink that. Okay, hey.
There we go.
I probably shook the hell out of that while I was
trying
doing
to wipe it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie mistake.
Yep.
Oh, this has been a spectacular start to this episode. You're basically feeling like Cleveland Brown fans are feeling right now. Not sure what's going on. Kind of excited, a little bit overwhelmed.
Did you say?
Still wondering what just
happened.
Did you
say who won that? Yeah.
No, I was going to let you comment in on that first because you always have strong opinions on how trades are going. Well, real quick, before we get into everything else that we're doing today, why don't we do that real quick? Why don't you throw out your grades for both Garrett going to the Rams and A.J. Brown finally going to the Patriots?
Yeah, just
once
let me
you're
get
done
my
cleaning up there.
Shit
My
together
goodness.
here, will you?
My goodness. You, sir,
dude, I am
are
so
a hot
sticky.
mess express. Yeah. This was not the beer to have a mess with, sir. That's a bit of a fail on your part.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun for me, though.
Well, here we are.
I'm really enjoying
What did you ask
this.
me now?
I want your trade grades, man. Right now,
which one first?
Both. Whichever one you want to start with first. It's fine by me. Obviously, one includes one of your favorite teams.
We'll start with the Garrett trade because, I mean, here's the thing, man. There's a few different ways for me to look at this before. I don't even know what I'll grade it once I guess finish my thought.
Yeah, sure.
My initial thoughts when this happened was, holy shit, the Rams are going like all in like the rest of the world. But I also like instantly was like, but the Browns won this trade. Make no mistake.
Sure.
The Browns win this trade because the Browns got a young and what looks to be promising edge rusher.
Right.
Plus a first, second, and a third round pick.
Right.
And Myles Garrett didn't fit their winning window.
Right.
So Myles Garrett was irrelevant in a way to the Browns outside of ticket sales and or hurting their draft position.
Sure. Yeah. Again,
so
Cleveland won the long term. The Rams won the short term.
Yeah. But the Rams only win the short term if they get a Super Bowl out of this, because otherwise that changed nothing for them. And other than they don't have the picks.
Right. Yeah.
And then I instantly went to the route of, wow, is McVay done in 2 years?
Right. Yeah, we joked about that. Well, I also, and again, like I don't remember who it was. Was it Schefter or Yates or whoever put up the list of all of the picks that the Rams haven't used over the last several years, and how all of them have been traded beforehand, or the player was then traded shortly after, like within 2 years of them getting drafted. And like you said, where's Ty Simpson going to be in 2 years now?
Yeah, he's the only damn one left. So
well, that's a whole interesting.
I feel like the Browns won this. I know I'm absolutely in the minority of that camp because everybody thinks the Rams absolutely won it. I think the Browns won it.
Sure.
I think the other thing. Did I misspeak? Did I say
no, you did. You said it right.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing too, though,
but hold on, just real quick on that. So I think the Browns won it. Assuming Verse doesn't get hurt and things like that, you can't project what they do with the picks. Right. But if Verse stays healthy and plays like he was with the Rams, they won it. If the Rams do win a Super Bowl in the next year or two, then I think it's
a tie.
I don't think you can say, because the Rams looked like the best team already in the NFC, and Verse looked very good as a young edge rusher. Garrett's infinitely better, but I'm just saying, like, is that it's going to be tough to determine if they won the Super Bowl because of Garrett.
Sure.
Or just because things lined up and it was, it worked.
Well, and there's people saying like,
they
were one defensive play away from, going to the Super Bowl last year, hypothetically, against Seattle.
They were.
And they gave themselves a much better chance with a stud edge rusher and a much better corner than they've had on that team in a couple seasons as well. So, like, the Rams have done everything you needed to do to push all the like I said, if there's something more than all in, that's what the Rams are right now. They are all past all in. They're not going to catch back up to that in a couple of years. The only thing I will say for Cleveland is, in my opinion, they should have shifted the way the picks came, because it's the first rounder in 27, a second in 28, and a third in 29. They should have found a way to get that first rounder in 28 instead of in 27.
I think
on the chance that the Rams might. Well, I know, because you're talking about finding a quarterback. You want extra.
They want
extra
it in that draft.
But it's going to be a 32nd pick, most likely, 31st or 32nd pick. So that's barely a first rounder. So that's part of the fun. What I do like is some of the takes that they had on how some of the things have gone down. Because obviously the restructure they did with Garrett made it easier to trade him because the bonus money wouldn't come in until the start of the season instead of in March. But the other bit that I loved was when the Browns tried to push through, or tried to I didn't push through, but they tried to encourage that whole 5-year window for trading picks instead of a 3-year window for trading picks. Back in the early in the offseason. Maybe they were tipping their hands a bit. We should have read that a little bit better, but oh well. It still worked out. Cleveland's in great shape. The Rams are in great shape. This is one of those rare trades that actually feels like both teams can come out ahead. But that is 100% down to, do the Rams win a title? And also, does Cleveland not screw up the picks? Because that is a huge if, because it's Cleveland.
I can't project what's going to go with the picks, but I've already told you, I liked what Cleveland did on draft day this year.
Yep.
I like the picks they have set up for the future. I like a lot of the moves they're making.
Sure.
Right now.
It's going to be a rough year, though.
But I wasn't a huge fan of the Concepcion pick, but we're not going to relive that. Go back and listen to that episode. As far as the other trade, the A.J. Brown's one you asked me about, man, but I mean, A.J. Brown's a stud. I absolutely love him. Not worried about the knee issue, which is why Philly allegedly pulled out. I'm good on that. I really wanted him to be a Patriot because he wanted to be a Patriot. He's a beast, and we have
apparently he already had a rug or something.
That's what I was going to get into. At the end, they had a team full of number 2 wide receivers, like we were saying. They had no 1. Now they got a 1.
Right.
In a very crowded number 2 room. So somebody's going to get traded. I think rumors already Booty's on his way. So there's that. But then there's also the piece where every single Philly player, like for the past 2 years, which is literally the biggest piece of why I said so early that during this offseason, A.J. Brown would be a Patriot, is all the Philly fans said that they're sitting there like seeing what's going on in the other league and AJ like throughout the season of what's happening. And AJ is rooting for the Patriots like more than he does when he's playing with the Eagles. You're like, this guy's a Patriots fan through and through. So it just seemed like it lined up. Okay, now here's the thing. I know he's definitely in the back end of his prime. I think he's got a couple really good years left because he's a freak.
Agreed. He's athletic.
And I think it could, help them stay where they're at. Let's not forget the Patriots had that easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah.
So do I think this gets them to a Super Bowl like a Garrett does with the Rams? No, I don't. But just because the Rams roster's better. But I don't know. A first-round pick, even if it is a year out, it's a lot. But you and I put a lot of value on the picks. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, if you could have done it for 2 2s or something, I would have been fine with it and said, I think there's a chance it could be even, but I don't know. I guess I lean Philly by the smallest margin.
Sure.
It's still pretty close to even.
Yeah. The Patriots are expecting that their 2028 first-round pick they're giving away is going to be 31 or 32, same like we're talking about with the Rams going to the Browns. So in their minds, I'm sure they're sitting back saying, this is barely a first-round pick we're giving up for this guy anyways. And again, they know that he is a guy who, one, fits with the coaching staff because he clicked with Vrabel. Vrabel was not the reason why he got traded from Tennessee, right? It was hilarious, GM situation they had. And he is a guy who fits perfectly with how they play the game in New England. And he's got Drake May throwing the football to him, which, while I like Jalen
Drake's going to
Hurts,
feed him.
Yeah. While I like Jalen Hurts, Drake May is a better passer. He just is. I love there's a guy that I follow on Instagram.
It's not hard. They only throw the ball like 15 times a game in Philly.
That's also part of it.
It's
going to be interesting to see how Philly
AJ's
changes.
frustrations. Like, he wants the damn ball. Sure,
Right.
he wants to win more than the ball, but he wants the ball. He's a diva wide receiver.
Well, he believes he is going to be a reason why they win games, which is the kind of confidence you want in a player.
He's also one of those diva wide receivers. So I'm going to say, more often than not, if you just throw the ball at him, it's going to help you win the damn game.
Exactly.
Like, it's a hard one to argue against, of being like, dude, I can't just throw it your way all the time. It's like, yeah, I probably could do that, couldn't I? I probably could just.
Yeah, there's a guy on Instagram that I watch. Biggie does like a bunch of silly, funny things with sports, but he did one with like AJ Brown on the Patriots and how he's like getting ready to block. He's like, "What are you blocking for?" It's like, he's not going to run. Quarterback's not going to run. It's like, oh, here comes the overthrow, and the ball drops right in his hands. It's like, so yeah, he's definitely talking about how much AJ Brown is probably looking forward to playing for the Patriots next year.
Yes,
and yes, I do agree with you that these two trades felt more even. Like, nobody got fleeced in either of these deals, in my opinion. There's ways it can go one way or the other, and we're not going to know for a few years how these are all going to play out. But these were two fun trades, and the league is better when there's trades. That's exactly why you do so many in fantasy, I think, because it makes it more fun.
Dude, and you got to work the league. And I feel like every time someone, tell me if I'm wrong on this, every time someone sees a trade has been completed, they get a little nervous, and then they see my name attached to it, and they go, "Oh shit." I only know that because there is someone in the league that literally said that. It's
nice.
Brad Bragg. Remember, even with the Gene T, he's like, "How long do I have to keep telling you people do not trade with him?"
Right,
dude. Collusion. You can't campaign for no trading with me.
No, see, the difference between when you do trades, you don't do lopsided trades. They just seem to always work out for you.
For example, and then we'll actually start the show since we're already 12 minutes in.
Right.
For example, the trade I did this year where I traded Willis for a few picks. He actually agreed to a trade to give me a second and a third.
Which is
insane. I said, nah, people will probably freak out. Let's just do a 2 and a 4. I literally stepped down from it.
Right.
Just trying
and hey, look, he's going to get one good year of garbage time production out of him, so enjoy it. I just don't know if I would have given up 2 picks for him. But hey, that's the fun part about doing a fantasy draft, especially the Dynasty world. We'll talk about more fantasy stuff way later on in the summertime. We are going back to 2023 once again. We did the AFC last week. It's now time for the NFC. Why don't you start us off with the team that might just win this whole thing, the San Francisco 49ers.
You can't even keep a straight face, Dan.
I can't. Oh, my goodness. Go ahead. Why is San Francisco dead last?
They're dead last. Dead last. We don't even need to go through the other teams. It is. You and I talked about this a little off air because I was like, dude, there's a chance this is the worst trade ever in the NFL history. But it's still the worst trade that was like draft day.
It's the worst draft day trade up for a quarterback ever.
Forever. They gave up essentially 3 firsts to go get Lance.
Right. And like a third or something too.
And
just for good measure.
But dude, it's so bad. Even man, you know how good Trey Lance would have to be? You know how good any quarterback, take the name out.
Right.
How good does any player have to be in your mind? We've already talked about how you and I value the picks because we have the confidence we're going to make good picks.
Sure.
Right? To give up, and I mean, to your point, one of the picks is just flipping positions. So you went from 12 to 3.
Right.
But you're still essentially given 3 first-round picks in a second for 1 first-round pick.
Yeah, you have to have.
That player has to be definitively to be the reason you won the Super Bowl.
Or at least he has to be a franchise cornerstone for a decade plus to make that justifiable, because not only are you giving up cost-controlled picks in the next couple of years that is going to help your team get better, you're also banking on, I mean, you've now put all the eggs are in one basket. And in San Francisco's case, that basket had holes in it. I'm pretty sure it caught on fire at one point. Maybe it's because of the substation next door to the practice field, but Sorry, got to get that joke in with San Francisco.
Right. And just because it's fitting for this, I guess, segment, if you will, this is exactly why, and I don't quote me on this, but from off the top of my head, it's the exact reason why the Goff and Stafford trade might go down as one of the greatest trades ever, because I literally think it was a home run for both teams.
Yep. Yeah.
It was
we'll talk about the Rams in a minute, but
both teams. I don't know if that ties into this year. I didn't go that far, but
okay. So good. We have in this division, we're going to have a home run and a strikeout. So why don't you go with the strikeout?
Oh gosh. Yeah, we'll go with the strikeout. I'll try to save us a little bit of time here, just because I already know that they came in dead last. They didn't have a first round pick because we just said that. They didn't have a second round pick, right? Talked about that. They did have a third round pick, okay? And I will say this, Jair Brown was a guy that you and I both shit on pretty good. I already used the S-bomb once in here, so when I blew up my beer, I'm just letting it go.
Let it ride.
He is a starter and playing pretty solid for them.
Yeah. Yep.
So that they home run that pick for a third round pick. They absolutely crushed.
Best pick in the draft.
And made you and I look dumb, which is my favorite thing.
Right.
However, the next two picks, because they had 3 third-round picks, they took Jake Moody, go blue. He's with Washington. They took Latu. He's with Philly.
Whoops. I will say this. Moody might not be in Washington after the end of this after this preseason. So that's the
also
thing. It's this is a kid who was so good in college, and admittedly, college goalposts are wider than the NFL goalposts, and it just hasn't worked for him. And kickers are so all over the place, anyways. But it's a bummer because it's always hilarious to see a kicker go that high. But I was hoping it would work out because it's a Michigan man, but not so much.
4th round, no picks. So we're on to the 5th round here. Now here they took Darrell Luter.
Who?
His first 2 seasons, he's a third string cornerback for them. He's still on the team, so I would leave that in white. And that home run I said for Brown, that would have been green. The other 2 would have been red. This one I would just leave white. He's a third string corner. I mean, this past year I think he had 25, 30 tackles, something like that.
He's contributing.
I mean, it's a 5th round pick, and he's on the roster. He's contributing. It is what it is. Now, Winters in the 6th round, that probably would have been a green pick, but he's with Dallas now.
See, here's the thing. I think you can still call that. I realize we talk about how you put guys in red if they're no longer on the team, but they got a 5th round pick for a 6th round pick.
I know.
I'd be okay with calling it a white or a green.
It's a light green.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right. So, but yeah, I mean, when there's compensation tied to it, why he's not there, and it's not a guy who just didn't walk or walked and you didn't sign or whatever, you got something for it. So it's light green because it's still kind of to be determined what they do with the 5th round pick. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
true.
We'll see. 7th round was a whole lot of roughness here, but you got Willis, who's 4th string. He's on the team. He's a 7th round pick. I'm not going to call it green, but it's definitely not red either. 7th round pick still on your team 3 years later. Can't be mad about that. I mean, is this a 4th string tight end? I mean, and then another gold blue, Ronnie Bell. I loved this pick for them. I thought he was a steal in the 7th round. He's with New Orleans now, so we'll see what he does with New Orleans, and you can talk about that later down the road. That'd have been a really difficult thing to do, is try to look up
where guys ended up and all that.
To count where they ended up and then count it towards that team. But that's not part of their draft. That's just a free agent signing. So I guess that'd be rough. And then last linebacker, Jalen Graham from Purdue. Now, he's still on the roster, so I'll leave him at white, but he's absolutely buried on this depth chart.
Yeah, he's another guy that's a cut candidate. Him and Willis are both guys who could get cut this year, depending on how things
They probably are.
Because, again, this is their last year. After this season, their contract's off the books, and so unless you really think they're going to give you something this season, you're going to move on and get somebody younger and cheaper.
But even if they get cut, I mean, we don't do it 4 years out. I'm just saying 3 years into this draft class, they're still on the roster. I'm still leaving that one as white. So
sure. All right.
They're still dead last. I don't care what happens.
So, again, to their credit, they do have one good pick, one that they flipped for another pick, and then a couple of guys who are at least on the team. So not as bad of a draft from the actual picks as some other teams, but when you do what you've done, you're done. You just can't. Arizona Cardinals. You know what? This was not as bad of a draft as Arizona's had at some points in the past. So the sixth pick, Paris Johnson, a guy we kind of expected was going to be the top tackle off the board. He was, and to his credit, he has probably been the best tackle out of this class. Now, mind you, he had a rough first year, but he's a 60 his first year, but like an 80 and a 76 the last 2 years. He's in the mid-range tackle-wise. Like, look at PFF grades. He's in the 20s, roughly, overall. But he's the best tackle coming out of this class. So he's a green. He is their starting left tackle. He's going to be a guy for them for the foreseeable future, so that's a green pick. B.J. Ujulari, on the other hand, the ACL tear in 2024 really hurt him. Total of 5 sacks in the other 2 seasons. It felt like last year he was still kind of coming back from the ACL tear. This is a huge year for him. He gets the coveted orange distinction because I can't put him in red because he's still on the team and still contributing even though he's not a starter, but he's nowhere near a green, and I don't even think he's a white. So we'll see what he does this year. He's on the roster, in my opinion, because they still have one more year on his contract, and they want to see if what they thought maybe could come out of his rookie year can come into something else. In the third round, 9th pick, they had 2 picks. They grabbed Garrett Williams, who has been kind of up and down in his career. When you look at the PFF grades, you look at the starting versus filling in, he seems to have settled into their nickel role. 4 interceptions, 16 passes defense. He's a white to light green for me. He's not a full-on green, just because I think he hasn't been consistent enough to be there. But he has a really good chance to play his way into a second contract this season. And again, maybe not a huge second contract. I don't think he's going to be breaking the bank or anything at corner, but he does seem like he's in good shape to move this forward. So that's 2 out of 3 picks that are going in the right direction. And then you remember how you just talked about the Niners making us look silly with Jair Brown? Yeah. The Cardinals made us look silly with Michael Wilson, wide receiver coming out of Stanford. That both of us were like, this is dumb. Now, mind you, end of the third round, almost a day 3 pick, so I could justify it more at this point, but this was not a guy that either of us had all that high on our boards. 163 catches, 2,100 yards, 14 touchdowns in 3 seasons. You like the touchdown number to be a little higher, but still, 2,000 yards in 3 seasons as a wide receiver is pretty good. Yes, I realize that is almost like it's the best season. One season be about $2,000, but still, he has been a good complementary piece for this team, especially because he can sit in a second, third role right now, which is exactly where he should be. Because he hasn't had to be the lead guy, that's probably helped him out a bit. But this is a green. He did great. Then it gets weird. 4th round, right? Oh, don't get me wrong. The day 3s are always fun. John Gaines. So he started at left guard for the second half of last season, right? 4th round, 20th pick. Here's the thing. While he started at left guard for the second half of the season, and that seems like a positive, they also brought in 2 guards in the offseason, one via free agency, one via the draft. So he's in orange as well, because this is a guy.
There's a lot of orange going on here.
I mean, I got some, well, because here's the thing. It's like you're on the team, you're a backup, but you could get cut this year after you started half of last season because they didn't have enough faith in you to not bring in extra competition, right? Clayton Tune in the 5th round of the 4th pick. He started 1 game, hasn't done much. He's now on Green Bay. He's their 3rd stringer, I think, there, something like that. So obviously that's a red. Owen Papo, 33rd pick in the 5th round, linebacker.
I liked that shot a lot.
We both liked that shot. You liked it even more than I did. Dude's been a career backup, handful of tackles. He might hang on the back end of this roster. He's a red, dude. I'm sorry. It just didn't work out for him. It's a shame. This is where it gets fun, though, in the 6th round, because they had Catrell Clark as a DB in the 3rd pick. He's a depth guy. He did special teams, but he's another one of those cut candidates, so he's kind of white-ish, I guess. But again, not a guy who has contributed in a big way, but he might hang on for another season because he's had some benefit on special teams. And then Dante Stills as the 36th pick in the 6th round, so almost the end, almost the 7th round. This guy, he's in the white for me because he's still on the team. He's still playing for this team. He's had 9 sacks in the 3 seasons, which is nice. But, dude, so many missed tackles. Also, 0 sacks last season. He's a backup right now for them. This is an absolutely huge year for him to see if he can turn this into something. But there's a good chance he'll be off the team by the end of the season. But again, still white because he's contributed. He's still on the team. He's still a backup. He's still playing, right? So a very mixed bag for Arizona. But still better than San Francisco because they didn't trade a bunch of picks for a quarterback that's not playing for him.
Sure, you're probably looking at my super confused face.
I'm waiting for it.
There's a lot of beeping. I think my dehumidifier in the basement is full. The tank's full. I'm like, what is? There's a lot of beeping and like.
No, I love this. This is transparency, everybody. Like this is real life, y'all. Everybody has not everybody, but people who live in certain areas, they understand a beeping dehumidifier in the summertime.
He's having a tough go for everything going on around me with beer, basement, everything. You know what though?
Making me happy.
I have a curious debate for you. Are you done? I was listening to people.
Oh, yeah, we're good,
Are you done with? Okay, I thought you were wrapping it up.
I'm just mentioning that they still beat out San Francisco because they didn't trade picks for a quarterback that doesn't play for them anymore.
What would you say if I told you Houston no longer is in first place on this game?
I would say, explain yourself, sir.
All right. There's an absurd amount of picks, so I'm not going to get in extreme detail here.
Yeah, it's all 14 of them?
It's insane. But let's start off. Tell me why they don't have a first-round pick, Dan.
Is it anything to do with Matthew Stafford getting traded from the Detroit Lions to the Los Angeles Rams, which led them to a Super Bowl?
Yep. Which is also why on draft day, I said they won the draft. I think I gave him first place. People probably said I'm crazy.
Gave him an A+.
Now, I've been waiting for this day because I liked a lot of what they did. We're going to have some fun. Steve Avila.
Go.
We're just doing this one completely different. How does Steve Avila work out, Dan? I don't know. Maybe starting interior alignment for him?
Yeah, he's doing all right. You loved him.
Yep.
It's worked out for you.
How did the right Byron Young work out for him, man?
Well, considering they got to pick the right Byron Young because someone else took the wrong Byron Young, it's worked out great for him.
Fantastic. So they're 2 for 2 now, right? And then this is the second. Yep. Now we're into the third. Byron Young was the third round. Another third round pick, a guy that I loved in the draft, Kobe Turner. How did that one work out, Dan?
He's a starting tackle for them on the interior, the defensive line.
Doing fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Now we're in the fourth round. Stetson Bennett still on the team.
Yeah, he's a backup. He could be the 2.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
He's a gamer.
Okay, now we're into the fifth round. Nick Hampton, he's on the Panthers. Okay, so they got their first red pick, right?
That's a whiff.
A guy that we were pounding the table for, loved the shot on him. How did Warren McClendon Jr. turn out even better than you and I thought?
I don't know, man. We liked him as a flyer in the 5th, and now he's a starter.
Never would have guessed the guy could hold it down at tackle. I was let's give him a shot interior. I think he can do it. Nope, he can play right tackle and start.
Yep.
So that is the darkest of the greens imaginable.
That's a forest green.
Starting right tackle. Yeah, insane.
Right.
Davis Allen, still on the team.
Sure.
As a 5th round tight end. Now here we go, Dan. Puka friggin' Nakua. How dark green is that one?
Thank you for reminding me, by the way. I always love when we get to talk about Puka Nakua and the guy that I dropped right before the start, before Cooper Kupp got hurt, so you could pick him up. I'm so glad we're resetting our fantasy league. Super dumb.
Thank you. That pick is that's like purple.
That's about it. That's all I was gonna say. That's almost black with a tinge of green. Like when Michigan State tries to do their black jerseys, that's basically what it is.
Yep. It's insane. Trey Tomlinson.
This is a very good draft.
Trey Tomlinson. He's still on the team, Dan.
Yeah. That's a 6th rounder. Or 5th rounder.
Yep.
6th rounder. 6th rounder, yeah.
Achwan Mathis, okay? Now we finally got another red pick. He is currently, last time I knew, he was maybe on the Jets practice squad.
Sure.
Believe that. But either way, he's not with the Rams. So red is what it is. Zach Evans, running back, okay? Last I knew, he was also with the Jets. So who knows?
Another whiff there. Right? This is 6 rounders.
And then just the icing in this is they even hit on a punter.
Which you wouldn't have taken.
Hit on a punter. No, maybe if I had 14 picks, I'd say why the hell not? But Ethan Evans, starting punter for him.
Sure.
Okay?
That's wild.
Pick 223. All right. Now we're on to Jason Taylor II, a pick that I liked a lot. Sadly, that one didn't work out. He's with the Orlando Storm.
Oh, hey, all right. Look at him playing some UFL ball.
Yep. And then
I want to say this, the league leading Orlando Storm right now.
Fair.
He's got that going for him.
Desjuan Johnson, also still on the team. So of the 14 picks, 10 of them are still on the team.
That's impressive.
So they got a Super Bowl win from the quarterback trade they did. Mm-hmm. They have 10 players from this draft class still on their team. And Steve Avila, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Warren McClendon Jr., Puka Nacua are absolutely home runs. Hell,
5 starters.
You could almost put Ethan Evans could almost at 223.
6 starters. Yeah, if you want to count punchers as a starter. Yeah, sure. 6 starters. That's insane. For a team
and they got a freaking ring.
Yeah. And again, part of that is it shows you the difference between a well-run franchise and, the muppeting about that teams like Arizona and some other ones are doing. So yeah, I do agree with you. You did explain yourself well. The Rams are in they're new leaders in the clubhouse, and no matter what I say about Seattle,
I don't see how they lose.
It's going to be tough. We're gonna see as we get through the rest of these teams. Maybe we'll have a healthy discussion here and there, but I'm just going to go through Seattle so that they don't feel left out. But
real quick, I told you A+ on draft day, and I'm not like this isn't mostly about trying to say I was right. No. I mostly want to know if anyone else even flirted with them having the best.
Sure. Probably not. Because, again, everyone weights first-round picks so highly, and they don't factor in first-round picks the way we do. So, Seattle Seahawks, they had a hell of a first round, okay? Because they grabbed Devon Witherspoon at 105 at the 5th pick, right? And a guy that we were only concerned about whether or not he could keep from being too grabby in the NFL. And so far, so good for him, right? He's only got 3 picks, but tons of tackles, 16 tackles for a loss, 3 Pro Bowls. So, very solid start for him. However, not even the best first-round pick by this team in this draft. Because at the 20th pick, they got the ninja, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who I will say...
that was a good one, too.
I was a little concerned because of how little he'd played. Was the injury going to be an issue? And then he lit up the combine and the post-season workout stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm back on board with this guy. I still didn't see this out of him. 2 Pro Bowls, offensive player of the year, 282 catches, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns. One of the best players to come out of this draft.
I don't know if you remember me saying this, but I was like, dude, I'm freaked out because he missed so much time.
Mm-hmm.
But from when I go back and watch the tape when he was playing, I remember telling you that hands down, once he gets the ball in his hands, he moved so like his elusiveness, the agility, whatever you want to call it, like just the shiftiness, the way he moved was something like I hadn't seen in a while.
Would you even go so far as to say
it could be dangerous?
Would you even go so far as to say that you like the way he moves?
I see that little outcast quote.
Uh-huh.
But even I would say that I didn't think that he would be in the conversation for arguably the best wide receiver in the league.
Well, this past season was
that's also only based off this past season,
right. So but needless to say, this is a man who's going to get extended. He's getting another contract. Both of those are green picks for them. There's no doubt. The second round is where it gets more interesting. Both of these picks are white for me. One, which is interesting, and this is where I actually, posted something because Derek Hall just got paid yesterday, which is good for him. Now, he didn't get paid a ton, right? He got 42 over 3, which is $14 million a year, which is good but not great edge rusher money. So when I looked at the contract, I'm actually okay with Seattle doing this. However, here's the thing. This is a guy who's gotten 10 sacks in his first 3 seasons, but only 2 of those are in 2025. So really what it is it feels like they're extending him based off of his 2024 season when he had 7 sacks or something like that, and expecting that to be the norm for him going forward because he still had a ton of pressures last year, but he didn't close the deal last year. So Seattle's sitting here thinking he had more pressures last year than he did the year when he had 7 sacks. He just didn't get the sacks last year. So maybe they're thinking there's a variance piece. So I get why they'd want to lock someone up that they think has 10 plus sack potential at a more or less discounted rate. However, as we've seen throughout the course of the NFL, if a guy has a good season, he's going to hold out for something else. So it should be interesting to see how that all plays out for them. He still fits as that, white category for me because yes, he's not technically a starter. He's technically one of their backups and also inconsistent, right? So off his 2024, he's a green. Off his 2025, he's an orange, so he's a white. And then Zach Charbonnet they got at the 21st pick in the second round. Look, he's been solid, right? He's been serviceable in the time that he's been there, but the injury coming off of last year is a big factor in one of the reasons why they grabbed Jadarian Price, obviously. And again, the guy, he's had 1,700 yards so far. He's had 21 touchdowns. He's only had a 4.1 per, which isn't terrible, but it's not as good as you'd like it to be. So again, he's in the white section. If he comes back healthy from the injury, he's got a chance to push this into a green, but right now there's too many question marks for him. And again, they just drafted a guy to, more or less split the backfield with him when they could have had him as the sole guy going forward if he was healthy. No 5th round pick for them, or third round pick rather. 4th round pick, Anthony Bradford. He's another orange guy. Some people might say he's white because he's a starter, but for me, he is the weak link on this line, okay? He's been below average all 3 years that they had when you look at the PFF grades. Had 7 sacks last year, 7 sacks in 24, 5 sacks in 25. You know what his pass blocking grade was last year? Out of 100, right? Remember, 60 is average?
Not 60.
32. One of the worst in the league. And he's still a starter for now, because we both know who's going to push him for that starting job this year. He will be a backup by the end of the season because Bo Stevens is going to take his place. Just by guarantee that. That's why he's not higher up on the list. All right. 5th, 6th, and 7th rounders. Here's a little tip. They're all red. Mike Morris, D-end. He's a depth guy, special teamer. Not much production. Maybe you could say he's a white, but I put him in red just because he's not what maybe what you're hoping for, and he's going to be done up to this year. This is the saddest red I think that I have to make out of all of the later round guys, but Olu. We thought Oluwatimi was going to be a great late round pickup, guys who can compete for the starting center job. And yes, he's played a little bit, but he's not been good in the time he's played. He just hasn't been able to make the transition. It's sad. He's a depth guy right now for them, but he's probably going to be done after this year. Jarek Reed, a DB, contributed on special teams. He was the 21st pick in the 6th round. He's on Tennessee now. So, he's still playing there. Good for him. In the 7th round, Kenny McIntosh. Man, this one sucks because he was a depth piece. He tore his ACL. He was out for 2025. Technically still on the roster while he's rehabbing, but he's a red. He hasn't gotten much. They brought in other running backs. If he contributes at all this year, it'll be nice, but he's still coming back from that ACL tear. So, really great start to the draft for Seattle. Good 2nd round. The rest of it was kind of a wash. Not good enough to beat the Rams.
No. And it's funny when we were sitting here talking about the Ninja JSN, we're talking about how he's in the conversation for best wide receiver in the league.
Sure.
I feel like I have to mention it. You could almost say that for Puka too, a part of that Rams class. So
the funny thing is, they're doing this though. Like JSN's up and Puka's kind of doing one of these right now with his life and everything else. So
sure, with life, but damn, he lit the league on fire last year too.
Well, again, he's had some more injury concerns than Ninja, which is funny talking about, because Ninja's injury concerns
you
were one of
the
points at the beginning. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a huge year for both players. There's no doubt about that. What are you sipping that went everywhere and caused you to make a mess and have a hilarious start to the season? Are you
Everything I touch is sticky. Yep. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I, sir, am drinking.
Ah, yes.
It's always dingy down here. I need to change my lighting.
Well, Big
Bad Baptist Macaroon stout. Macaron.
Remind me.
How do you say it?
Macaron.
There's only... Yeah, Macaron.
Macaron is technically, I
Macaroon?
think, because Macaroon is something else people talk about, too. But Macaron, I think, is how people talk about the dessert. I'm pretty sure.
So, dude, I know for a fact, because everything Big Bad Baptist is like a 4 or higher grade. I don't want to check it yet before I do my grade. I'm here to tell you I can't get behind that. This thing is so overly chocolate and sweet. It's probably why I'm sticky.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So, I grabbed it because one of the tasting notes on the top of the can is coconut.
Okay, so that is a macaroon, not a macaron then. Because real quick, a macaroon
they only put 1-0.
So that's interesting. So are they doing a macaroon? A macaroon?
I don't know.
Or macaroon? Because technically a macaroon...
Macaron.
Well, so technically a macaroon is like the kind of puffy looking thing with the chocolate on it and the coconut. And a macaron is like the 2 cookies with the cream thing or whatever in between it. So We're gonna call it a macaron.
I don't get a ton of coconut on here. Like the smallest amount. There's like one coconut flake floating around, floating around.
Jeez,
floating around in this thing. It is a whole lot of chocolate and sweet, and I'm quite sad it's a pint. Like I'm enjoying it, like right now, but I'm telling you, well, look how slow I'm sipping it.
It's gonna be tough to finish that bad boy, isn't it? You don't want to stay in the basement until you're done with it.
I would say I'm going to try to get it done during the second half.
I say that is not a warm weather drink. That's all I'm saying.
Nope. I can't see myself giving this over 3.25, dude. I just can't. It's too. It's put together well. It's not for me, and it feels disrespectful to give it a 3. But I can't give it much more than that. It's just too sweet. Dude, and I'm saying it's sweet. This is a bourbon barrel age.
Oh, okay.
Which threw me off. I'm trying. It doesn't even have
the bourbon barrel age is usually
ABV. I'll check
they're
into
a little
it
less sweet.
It is usually not. This is not.
Okay.
Because generally,
you generally get a little bit of a relief on the sweetness when you get the bourbon barrel aged piece of it, if you will.
It is 13.5.
So you're basically drinking half a bottle of wine right there.
And it just tastes insanely sweet. Here, the tasty notes on this. Okay, the tasty notes. The interpretation is a macaroon cookie.
Yeah. So again, they spelled it wrong
here. Yes.
So they definitely spelled it wrong.
The tasty notes are chocolate, coconut, sweet, boozy, full-bodied. I'll take all of that except for the coconut and boozy,
which is a bummer because dude, remember, for most people it's boozy. You just handle boozy better than other people. You drank in a snow throne 4 17ers one time.
The triple mash.
So I want to point out that maybe your definition of boozy.
I didn't know they were that high.
But most people would have noticed.
Dan.
So all I'm saying is your interpretation of boozy is different from other people. That's all the point I'm trying to make there. When you're talking about labeling that in there, most people would think 13.5%, which is ahead of a lot of wines, would be boozy.
It was unaware.
Yep. But yeah, so
whoops.
But again, overall, the flavor, if it wasn't so sweet, you'd probably be okay with it. But as it is, this is another one. Does this feel like a beer?
If you dialed down the sweet and turned up the coconut, even if it didn't taste boozy, because sure, maybe I don't pick up on that like other people do. Just turn up the coconut, turn down the sweet a little bit, and I'm at a 3.75.
Okay, 2 things. One, I want to know how you'd slate this against that Dragon's Milk rum coconut one.
This loses.
Yeah, I figured you liked that one better. And
this is twice as sweet as that.
Oh, jeez. Okay, that's impressive. The other question is this
like
a beer?
I've got melted chocolate in here.
Which I will say worked out really well for me when I had that double stuffed tuna poo when I was down at Cigar City. When I got to try that other one too. Remember how I got to try the tuna poo that you haven't tried
I don't
yet?
want to talk about it, Dan.
Yeah, okay.
You always bring that up.
But I mean,
Isaiah Simmons a beer.
Oh no, it's better than Isaiah Simmons.
Well,
let's be honest.
Maybe
that's easy. Now, the other question I have for you: does this beer feel like one that would have been better in a flight? Because you only have 5 ounces.
100%. Yes.
Because we've talked about that. There are beers that feel like in 5 ounce form, you're like, okay, I can do this. But a whole pint of it would be a lot. All right. We are going to buzz through some other beers that you drank and that I drank, but I got to talk about the one that I'm drinking right now because both of us have had some stuff.
We're not
going to do all of them.
Stuff.
We're going to do like half this show, half next show. So I guess I got 6 beers to talk about from third.
I better pull up my history.
Yeah.
All right.
But here's what I've got. I have a beer called Sin, Repent, Repeat.
I've been looking at that.
This is some Griffin Claw. I wouldn't recommend it for you, sir.
Okay.
This is a milk stout brewed with Paczkis. And that's what the Paczki, for those of you who aren't familiar with that word, it's the basically the thing you eat right before Lent starts, right? It's the good old fashioned cream or jelly filled pastries, so to speak. They basically did a stout, threw a couple dozen Paczkis and cream lactose in there. And dude, most of me isn't sticky, but my lips are. Because this is another one of those beers that's just so over the top with the sweetness. And this is only 8%. So it's at least, a little more manageable when it comes to the alcohol percent. And you get the stout flavors, the typical stout flavors, none of the coffee. It's all in the roasty, chocolatey sort of vibe. And they do actually have that fruit character coming through with the Paczki. So there is a little bit of a grapey sort of grape jelly sort of vibe. That's my point. This is why this is not be a beer for you. For me, it's still not a beer for me. It's still
I feel like
too sweet for me.
The closest I've been to death in my whole life was the first and only time I'll ever have a Paczki. Somebody insisted I had to eat it on whatever day that everybody
Fat
does
Tuesday.
that. Fat
Mardi
Tuesday.
Gras. Mardi Gras.
Somebody insisted that I eat one. I took like 2 bites and I couldn't. And it was at work. And everybody was like roasting me. Like, dude, you have to finish it, blah, 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 blah. So it took me north of 30, 40 minutes to eat this whole thing.
Yeah, I believe that.
I finally ate it all. And I'm not kidding you. Like, I had like, just like sweats like going down. I'm like, dude, my stomach does not feel good, you guys. Like,
no, because it's a sugar bomb.
Rough.
Yeah,
it was the closest I've ever come in my entire life to like leaving work sick. I've never really like left work sick like that without like somebody being like, "Hey, you could go. We don't need you." Right. I was like, dude, I don't have a choice. I gotta go. This is the closest I ever was. Dude, but I did go late. I had to go sit in the dark in a room with like 6 bottles of water and like chill out.
They had to clear out the diabetic coma you were fighting. I will
never eat a Paczki, and I will probably never eat a donut.
Fair. I could do a donut on occasion, but
I do not like
is a
sweet.
lot.
This
dude.
beer is almost laboring me. It reminded me of that.
Here's what I will tell you though: this beer is probably got more flavor going on than your beer does, because this actually hits the Paczki notes, whereas yours misses on the coconut note.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
But
the chocolate,
overall,
they're crushing it.
Well, sure, there you go. So overall, here's what we'll tell you. These beers are fun. These are not beers for 80-degree days. They're just not.
Yes, it's not.
So fail on our parts. Oh, well. I got to move this down to like the basement for summertime, man. Because I am on the 2nd floor, and it is one of those houses where the 2nd floor is warmer. So why don't you real quick, give me a couple of the beers that you've tried over the course of the weekend.
I had several, but I'm just gonna touch on the 3 shorts beers that I had.
Okay.
All right, and I'll start with what inspired me to go get a shorts variety pack. I had to try that pure Michigan cherry Kolsch that you talked about on the last episode. So I will tell you this, like the cherry flavor in it was fairly enjoyable.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it was just the fact that it's a Kolsch, and it just reminds me of like your like domestic, like it's a beer. You know what I mean? Like type vibes. So I only gave it a 2.5. My flavors I put down were cherry sweet and crushable. I felt like it was thin, light. You could crush the heck out of them if you really, really wanted to. Not my flavor profile. Hence the lower rating.
Average rating, yeah.
Yeah. Then I had one that I've stared at for probably 2.5 years. Of like, I feel like I need to try this, and I've never pulled the trigger. But seems how I was already doing crazy beers. Like let's put the crazy hat on. Let's roll. I tried the Bloody Beer by Shorts.
I've seen that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Same thing, dude. I've thought about getting it, but I just haven't ever wanted to because I'm not a Bloody Mary fan.
Yeah, dude. I gave it a 2.
You actually gave it a 1.75. I'm on your list right now, dude.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish. I gave it a 2. I didn't realize I'd actually had it before. I must have purged it from my memory. I gave it a 2 on October 18th, 2017, and probably blocked it out. Sure, but it didn't age well, apparently, because on May 31st, when I had it, I gave it a 1.75. So you are correct. Average those out. Not great. Not my flavor profile. There's not like a ton of spice or a ton of tomato in there. It just like...
That feels like
it's nothing enjoyable, nothing refreshing, nothing like thirst quenching. Like it was, I don't know. It's
just like, do you like Bloody Marys? Do you like beer? How about you do both when either of them would be better than this thing we smashed together?
It tastes just like a bad beer and bad Bloody Mary together.
That's my point. It's unfortunate. And again, we love Shorts, right? We love the brewery. We love that they take chances. However, sometimes you're going to miss, and this was a miss.
Yep. Now, one that I can't believe this one beat both of those two. The third and final one, real quick. I got the Short Summer Heat. It's a Mexican lager. Okay.
So it's kind of like a Corona-ish.
No, because it gets crazy. It's brewed with jalapenos and raspberries.
No, that's definitely not Corona then.
Nope.
I mean, that's kind of a fun combo.
I didn't realize that. I guess I didn't read the can past jalapenos. Like, oh God, if I'm gonna try, I'm just stopping.
Sure.
I didn't get a ton of raspberry in it. I got you could definitely get the jalapeno a little bit, but it tasted what I told you is it tasted like you took a bunch of vegetables, like blended them up, basically had vegetable juice with like fresh jalapeno on top, and you're drinking it. Oh, this almost tastes more like My Bloody Marys than the Bloody
I was about to say, right? Yeah.
That's
that kind
crazy.
of feels like you're down that route instead.
But I gave it a 2.75. If I didn't enjoy it, if you made me choose between the three, having one again, I'm definitely going the Summer Heat.
All right.
And I, sir, am going to put you on the spot. If you can find it, just the way I did that Kolsch, don't do the Bloody
Summer Heat.
You got to try the Summer Heat. Give me your thought on it.
I will
Tell me if it tastes like vegetable juice with the jalapeno in it.
Right. I will find the Summer Heat at some point. I'm not sure I'll drink it during a show, but I will drink it at some point and report back. There's slam dunk on that. I'll make it happen. I'm going to talk real quick. So I went to Third Nature Brewing. We were texting back and forth. I actually have to post some pictures about it. But went to Eastern Kill, did the whiskeys we talked about last time. Went to Third Nature, which is literally like not even half a mile. We're talking like a couple hundred yards down the road from each other are these two places in kind of the country in Rockford. Third Nature, which has roots in Korea. Like the people who started the brewery, which is fun because it means their beers obviously have a different character to them. And one of those was the Jeju, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it properly, but Jeju IPA. And it's an IPA with an orange that's native to that part of Korea. This one was a 3.5. This. I liked this one.
I want this.
It was an American IPA.
Of that from there?
I
don't know how close to Rockford you are.
No, it's like a 20, 30-minute drive, so it's not terrible, but I can make it happen.
If you're in the area, I would like to try that one.
It'll have to be a crowler, so we'll have to kind of time it for when I'm going to come see you because those things only last about a week and a half. Which here's your PSA for beer, by the way. If you get a crowler, so like if they make a can for you at the place, drink it within about a week and a half. Those things are not the same as cans on the shelf for beer. Don't let it sit for 6 months.
You know what just hit me? I know we're already going long in this episode, but dude, are growlers still a thing?
They are, but fewer places seem to do them.
Can you take one that like you can
usually
like
if you
to
bring
your point?
you
just said fewer. If I bring one in, will they fill it or be like, we don't do that?
It depends on the place. Like some breweries will do that. Some breweries have that price on there. They price out their like Rockford Brewing Company. So you're talking about the town of Rockford. Rockford Brewing Company.
That one a
Third
lot.
Nature. Yeah. So both of those Rockford will fill.
Do you
have one from them?
Go to Rockford and get their I forget it's their wings. But man, they've got like a wing sauce that I swear is named after like Lord of the Rings or something, but it's a super hot one. I absolutely love it. Watch Casey. You know Casey? I watched him melt in a chair.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah,
just completely melting. Causing
just
a scene. He's known for causing scenes, but he caused a freaking scene. And it was like, he was in disbelief. I was eating those, like, this is insane.
Admittedly, I'd be halfway between the two of you because, me and spicy food, I love it and it doesn't love me back. That being said, I do know they do crowlers. They might do growlers at this place. I'll figure it out. We'll report back on that. But the Jeju was very good. It had that orange vibe along with, and orange and IPA tend to go well anyways, but they did a really nice job with that. That's why I want to try it.
And now it's a new orange.
There you go. And they also did a West Nature, which, by the way, it's a West Coast IPA, and I have to try them because we're still on the search for good West Coast IPAs because it is a hard one for you and I to enjoy at the same level.
There's one.
We'll have to go back through the show. It was one of the shows you talked about.
I don't remember what it was.
We'll go back through and we'll find it. But West Nature.
But I do remember saying it. I do remember saying it didn't taste like a West Coast IPA. That's why I liked it.
Right, exactly. It was a 3. It was good, but it wasn't great. Right. It was a solid beer, which for West Coast, not bad. Right. And then I also had a weird one. I had an amber cold IPA. So it was part amber beer, part cold IPA. And I tried it purely because I was curious about the mashup. 2.75. It was all right. But it definitely felt like they were trying to take two beers and squish them together. which was fun to try.
The
and
bloody
those
beer.
are the kind of beers, yeah, right, exactly. But those are the unlike the bloody beer. Those are the kind of beers that are fun to try in a flight, because this isn't a flight at a brewery. Do a flight at a brewery with a couple weird beers. That's totally the thing you should do for them.
You're
You just don't
less
have to buy
sad.
cans. Exactly. I'll go over the rest of them next time. But that's your
Same.
reminder once again. If you get a crowler, don't let it sit for very long, and go support your local brewery. They want to see you. They miss you. All right, let's go out east. Where do you want to start?
I'm gonna switch it up this time. I'm gonna start with Dallas.
Okay, still
I
trying
feel
to decide
like
what you like.
piling on Dallas a little bit right now. I don't
well,
know why. I just feel like,
yeah.
dude, I'm kidding, Dallas fans. So your first pick,
This
you
wasn't
take a
good.
guy who, man, I really wanted to be good because he's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. He went to
Right.
the University of Michigan, and he drove me absolutely insane while he was there because I never saw it on tape at all. Absolutely zero.
But then you
to
see
pile
him-
on him, even though Bruce Feldman athletic report. Yeah,
Well, that's my point.
I
Then
don't
you
know, I
see
just
him like do the stair hop thing, like he's a beast
Still-
in that.
still can't do it. And I,
Right.
like I said, at the 26th pick, it kind of is whatever. But I feel like I absolutely remember, like I would not have done that. But long story short, because we're already running long, he's not even on the team. He's with the Jets. So that's a red pick. Luke
I mean,
Schoonmaker.
he's part of the reason why they have Quinnen Williams, so that helps. But he's still a red pick.
Correct. Luke Schoonmaker, go blue again. I liked Schoon, but he had, he had the injuries and whatnot. But here's the thing, man: a second round pick, Dan, who's still just your backup tight end. I can't call that green at all,
No.
even if you're on the team.
No,
I like it's white, but it is closer to red than white.
this is
pink.
his year. This is his year
It's a
to make
pink.
something happen. Oh, I thought it was
Yeah,
orange.
Like, all right,
Like, you're putting in all
Orange it
kinds of
is.
weird numbers. Or numbers.
Numbers.
Jeez, colors. Wow. How high is this? That's only 8%. I should be fine. Jeez.
Yeah,
All
mine's
right.
13.5.
Yeah, right.
So you get it, Luke. That was a miss either way, but he's still on the team, so I guess I'm not going to call it red.
Right.
Third round pick, I'll give him their only green.
Yeah.
DeMarvion Overshawn. He's a starting linebacker for him. I mean, I'm not super high on him per se,
Right.
but he's starting on the team 3 years in. I have to be fair.
Yeah.
And based on how we're doing this, we'll call it a green.
Agreed.
And then, only since because we're already going long, I'll just be honest. All the rest are red because none of them are on the team.
Yeah, I had a little
Viliami,
bit of.
Fayoko, I liked
hoped.
a lot.
Yeah, I hoped
Yeah.
something would work out for him, but it just didn't.
I liked him a lot. He is he's Colts or a practice squad. I don't know. You get it. Asim Richards. He's with the Saints. And you got Eric Scott. I don't even know if he's on a team. Last known, I think he was with Kansas City is what I got. Deuce Vaughn, my second player with the Orlando Storm today.
Dude, I do like me some Deuce Vaughn, but he just didn't pan out. in the NFL.
We both love Deuce Vaughn. You loved him more than I
Look,
did, but
He's
we both
tiny,
loved him.
okay? He was going to be a gadget
Dude, he
guy
was
at
fun.
best. Yeah.
I literally thought if used correctly, he could have been the poor man's Darren Sproles.
Yeah, I mean, he's the same size as Sproles, so yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know if he could, like, Sproles was really good.
Right.
And I thought he just could play that role and
Right.
contribute, and he just didn't. And then you got Jalen Brooks, wide receiver here in the 7th round. He's with Arizona. I mean, those are all red, y'all. Like, their whole thing is essentially red because Schoonmaker's even closer to red than anything except for Overshawn. And
not
I'm
good.
still not a huge fan of him.
You just kind
they're
of
in the
whiffed on the whole
bottom-ish.
draft class. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's tough. That is tough when you whiff on an entire draft class.
Entire draft class.
But the question is, did they have the worst one in this division? Because I'm about to come at you with Exhibit B.
I think, hold on. I don't want to interrupt you too many times, but
No, you're good.
I think we made it pretty clear the Rams won the West.
The West, yeah. The Rams won the West. We put that in no
and are
uncertain
winning
terms.
overall still.
Well, again, yeah, I think they're ahead of Houston, so there's no doubt about that. The Washington Commanders have something to say about who had the worst draft in the East, though, because they started off with the 16th pick, one pick before Gonzo. They take Emmanuel Forbes, who has never met a cheeseburger that he's turned down, because that man still needs to eat more. I hated it when it happened. He was not good with Washington. He got cut, I think, after first or second season. He was mediocre at his best, and now he's a backup.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that Russell Wilson is done.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, good for you, buddy. He's a fascinating case study for what part of your career matters more. And I do think he's like a fringe Hall of Fame guy. Some people think he's a slam dunk Hall of Fame guy. I'm not a slam dunker with that. He had such a good start to his career.
I think he gets in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think he gets
he's
in
not a
for
first
a few
ballot
years.
Guy.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's another story. We'll talk about that as we get closer to all of that stuff that comes up when we get to that point of the year. But Emmanuel Forbes, he's a backup for the Rams. And again, I want to point out that the Rams believed that corner was one of their weakest spots, so they went out and signed one and traded for another. So clearly, Emmanuel Forbes is not the answer for that team either. So that's a red pick for Washington. He's not even on the team anymore. Quan Martin, Jartavius Quan Martin, was a DB / it's like he's basically a hybrid safety corner at the 16th pick in the second round. Shifted to safety after his rookie year. Looked kind of like the big nickel, it seems like, where they're going to play him this year. He's made it through regime changes, so points to him for that. He sits in the white category for me, though, because, again, he's been okay. He's had some rough spots. He's had some bright spots, but it's still like we don't know what's going to happen here. Now, I want to point out, too, this is a draft class that has seen two different administrations already come in, like two different coaching staffs. So that right there should give you an idea what we're working with. In the third round, Ricky Stromberg, a couple snaps as a rookie, cut before his second season, cut by the Bears after last year with the 34th pick in the third round. That's a red. 16th pick in the fourth round, Braden Daniels, another interior offensive lineman, tore his rotator cuff as a rookie, and unfortunately for him, that just kind of did not help him, right? Got cut after the season, just got cut like 2 weeks ago from Miami, which not a great sign. We're getting cut from probably the worst offensive line in the league. So that should give you an idea where his career is at. That's another red. KJ Henry played sparingly. This is the fifth round second pick. Got cut after his rookie year because that was when the first change happened to the new coaching staff. And so I don't know if you're noticing a trend here, but this was not a good draft class for Washington. And the 16th pick of the sixth round was Chris Rodriguez, who flashed here and there, had some good short yardage moments for the Commanders. However, he's now with Jacksonville. So that's another red. And then in the seventh round, 16th pick, Andre Jones, cut after a second season. He's deep depth for Buffalo. The entirety from third round on, they had one pick that wasn't a red for me, and that was a white, and that was Jartavius Martin, who is still on the team and still contributing. The rest of this draft class, now part of it's because they changed coaching staffs, and so you always want to bring in your own guys, whatever, but none of these guys are on the team anymore, just about. I think literally the only guy on the team anymore is Martin. Everybody else is off. So there you go. Another wasted draft class.
It's a rough division.
It's not looking good. Can the Giants redeem us?
It pains me to think that the Giants are in first place in this division so far because this draft class is not great. So here's the thing. Pick 24, we got Deonte Banks, right? Neither one of us were super high on him.
Right.
He's not lower even than a starter right now. He's a second
He
string.
is what I thought he was.
That's white. It's not green. He's
borderline.
It's closer
white,
to red than green
because
you're talking about a first round pick who's not even a starter.
Orangey. He feels orangey to me.
Let's call him orange. John Michael Schmitz, I'll give you a green one. Who we liked.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
You liked him more than
starting center.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that he's the starting center.
Yeah, so that's a good pick. Mm-hmm. I'll let you try to defend yourself here, but Jalen Hyatt, who I absolutely despise, but you like him a lot. He's like wide receiver 7 at best.
Tennessee, look, in my defense, I hadn't realized how formulaic Tennessee's offense was yet. So that was my last attempt at backing a Tennessee wide receiver. I won't do it again until someone proves me differently.
This was the first year that I did it, so we'll see if it burns me the same because I backed Brazel.
Yeah, but Brazel's coming to a much better situation than Hyatt. Hyatt came in trying to be the guy, knowing he never should have been the guy. And yeah, he might have an okay year this year, but yeah, they just drafted. They just picked up. No, they just picked up all the old heads that were left on free agency. So yeah, it's a weird year for the Giants already.
And I don't even. Let me go to our lads real quick.
No, I mean, because you look Malik Neighbors, Calvin Austin, Jarius Slayton, Malachi Fields, Juju Smith-Schuster, Daryl Mooney, Odell Beckham, Braxton Berrios, Isaiah Hodgins, Bo Collins, Xavier Gibson, Jalen Hyatt, Ryan Miller, and Dalen Cambry. Those are all the names of wide receivers that at least Fantasy Points has got on their roster. So there's going to be some attrition. They might carry 6 or 7.
He's listed at wide receiver 10.
I believe that. Yeah, I see that.
He's not, dude.
It's gonna be rough for him.
He's done. It's
here's
red.
The thing.
I'm calling it red.
No. You say that. I agree with you. However, I do think Jalen Hyatt hypothetically could beat out Braxton Berrios, Isaiah Hodgins, Darnell Mooney, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Berrios and Mooney are so infinitely better.
Well, but there's a world where
now I think that OBJ and Juju are washed. So if they make the team, I'm shocked. He's better than them. I feel
like Beckham might make the team. Smith-Schuster is a question mark.
They're just going to do that for ticket sales. Exactly. That's why.
Yeah.
Either way, it's
still not. Point is, insane. This is not good for the Giants. Continue.
Eric Gray is their RB2.
That's nice.
I'm not going to call it green, but I'll call it white.
Yeah.
For a 5th round pick, it is what it is. And then the last 3 are all red, dude. Hawkins is with the Commanders. Riley's with the Packers. Owens is with the Bears. All red. So you're talking about a backup running back, a backup cornerback in the 1st round. So just a starting center. So it's almost like you said. There's essentially one good pick here.
Right. Yep, I would agree with that.
That's insane.
The reminder,
but they're still probably winning this division, though.
So far, right? But the fact that they drafted, the fact they drafted Colton Hood,
in mediocrity.
I know, right? But the fact they drafted Colton Hood shows you exactly why they don't feel where they need to feel about Deontay Banks, right? Philadelphia Eagles. There's hope that they could win this division out of almost by default, so to speak. I don't know, and part of it's because of who they took at the 9th pick, Jalen Carter. Dude, now mind you, if you look at his PFF grades, he's trending in the wrong direction. He had a great first year, a decent second year, and a questionable third year when it comes to the analytics numbers. However, here's the thing. He's the quintessential...
Jalen Carter wins the whole thing already, though.
You're right, probably. He's the quintessential disruptor.
A hothead, dude.
Well, here's the thing. He's a hothead. He is a disruptor who misses tackles. He's kind of a both sides of it, right? So he's a mixed bag, but he's been good, just maybe not analytically good. And this is where I gotta take a whiff. This is a miss for me. I've accepted it.
Tell me about this, Dan.
This is my once again hope of a guy who I was like, this is a speed man. He's a speed merchant. He can come off the edge. It's going to be great. I don't care if he's undersized. At the 30th pick, they took Nolan Smith, and I am still waiting for him to pop. Now, to his credit, he has 10.5 sacks, which would be great if it was 1 year, not 3 years. Yeah,
he's a backup. To warn you.
He's a backup best. There's a reason why they gave up a 2 third-round picks for Jonathan Grenard to bring him in, because they knew they needed more help pass rush. Nolan Smith is a backup, which would be fine.
Probably better.
Well, that's my point. He'd be fine if he was a 3rd or 4th round pick as a backup, but he's a 1st round pick. I'm still leaving him in orange, but he's probably red. I'm just gonna admit that. They didn't have a 2nd rounder because they traded up. So the 3rd round, they grabbed. Now here's where I think Philly wins this draft. Within the division, not overall, but within the division, they got Tyler Steen. He's a starter at right guard in the 3rd round. So they got 2 starters. They got 2 starters. No one else has 2 starters. I'm not saying it's
This
good.
is pathetic.
It's very pathetic because the next
Let's just move on and give them the dub, but there's no point because they have nobody in this division has shot.
I'm getting it better. It's going to get better because it's not getting better at the moment, though, because the 3rd pick. So they got the 2nd pick, they took Tyler Steen in the 3rd round. 3rd pick in the 3rd round, they took Sidney Brown, who you really liked and I kind of liked.
I did.
And now he's in Atlanta. Now, mind you, they got a pick out of him, but it was a day 3 pick swap. It took 2 swaps in the 3rd, so they didn't get the value they gave.
Call it white. No,
he's not. It's not white because they got less than they get. Like, they got day 3 picks that they flip flopped on.
It depends on what they do with that pick.
Yeah, but again, no, because those were guys from this. I don't think he's a white.
It's white for JP. It's orange for Dan.
Yeah, it's red for me. Orange for me is Keely Ringo in the 4th round, right? With the 3rd pick. He's a backup. He's played okay when he's called upon, but they brought in a Reek Willen to take his job. So clearly, you don't feel good enough about this guy to start for you. He's orange at best because you got one more year for him to prove himself. He's not going to get to prove himself because he's going to be a backup. And we weren't sure about him coming out anyways, so he's kind of been exactly
he was
what
a guy
he
who
would be.
He was up here for like the whole like up here, and then he went
right. Yeah, he crash landed, and he crash landed in the 4th round. No 5th round pick, 6th round. Tanner McKee. I put him in red only because I expect him to be cut this year. He's been an okay backup because they haven't needed him except for like I think a week 18 start or something like that. I don't think he made sense for their offense when they first drafted him. I still don't think he makes sense. He's an okay backup. If he was on a different team, I'd probably be okay with this pick. He'd probably be a white one, but he's a red as far as I'm concerned. However, this is where it turns around and Philly wins this division because in the 7th round with a 32nd pick, they grab Moro Ojomo. And this is a starter on your defensive line. He's been pretty solid. He had 6 sacks last year. So
I'll give you that one. That's might be the best pick in this whole division.
It's the best 7th round pick almost in the draft, I think, but certainly in the division.
Well, I'm saying based on value.
Yeah.
Like that's
value,
probably the best pick.
Yeah. So Philly wins the East because they do get 3 starters out of it. However, those were the only 3 good picks they made. The rest of them were kind of trash. So, yeah, no one from the East is winning anything outside of Philly gets to say they were the best in the East, which is like saying you're on the top of a pile of poop.
That's exactly where they are.
Right. So far,
they are
keeping track. Yeah. The Texans won the AFC, and the Rams are by far leading the NFC right now.
And overall, I think.
Yeah. Well, we still have 2 divisions, and there's at least one team in those 2 divisions that I know you are going to want to stump the table for a little bit and pound the table. I say stump for and pound the table. Different analogies. Point is, you got at least one more team that you want to talk about next time. The Draft.